Hello and welcome to episode 77 of the Game Bolt Podcast, your weekly dose of lightning in a bottle, the official podcast of thegamebolt.com. Today I'm joined here, I'm your host Grant, joined here by a great crew of Thomas and Kyle. How are you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
Just peachy.
Kyle, you aren't peachy because you're sick.
Well, I'm just a moldy peach.
Oh. Kyle is a
Okay.
moldy peach.
Great way to start.
Just know that. On that note, no, yeah, I don't think we even need to discuss that any further. Again, this is the Game Bolt Podcast, the official podcast of thegamebolt.com. Post to iTunes every Tuesday and YouTube every Wednesday. Let's go ahead and jump right into what we're playing. Kyle, would you like to go first? Or I guess you guys can both sort of jump on Deus Ex.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the obvious one at this point.
Yeah.
I've been enjoying it. I enjoyed the last Deus Ex. I'm not super attached to the franchise, but as an overall experience, I think it's pretty good. Kyle, if you...
Yeah, definitely. I've been playing it quite a bit the past 2 days, and I love it. I played a bit of Human Revolution, so I knew what it was going to be like. But the reason why I didn't finish Human Revolution is because it felt way kind of really outdated control-wise.
Yeah,
Which
I agree.
It still kind of is with Mankind Divided, but it's sort of more versatile, so it's kind of better in that sense, so it's not less... So it's much less, like, annoying to have to deal with.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten to any bosses yet, so I have no idea how that's going to play out.
I don't believe there's any bosses this time around. I think they just scrapped that whole thing entirely.
Maybe, I'm not sure. I saw a trophy that kind of alluded to there being bosses, so I have no idea.
Mm.
But yeah, it's definitely enjoyable. I really like the formula of the game I did with Human Revolution, so it's kind of cool to have like Adam Jensen like get these new augments and basically just destroy people, enemies different ways, and upgrading your hacking abilities to be able to do more stuff with hacking, and even like upgrading an augment so that you can sort of fight your way through persuasion, and so you can avoid like different confrontations, which kind of reminds me of like Telltale in a way. But it's like really nice, and I just enjoy it, and it's just so fun just exploring and breaking into places and stealing everything.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the new augments. Some of the new ones, like my favorite augments are the ones I never use. Like there's like a dermal, I believe it's called dermal shielding, that's like covers you in this like black shield that like is really useful during like a firefight. And then there's also like the one that fires the blade out of your wrists and like instantly kills enemies. But the problem is I never use them because I'm doing like a complete stealth playthrough, and so
Yeah.
like, and it's disappointing because like maybe I'll like after I'm done with this playthrough I'll go back, play it again on like a combat playthrough, see how those play out. But like some of the new augs are pretty sick. Like I know the cloaking was there before, but I've been using that a lot to sneak around. I've been using a ton of the stun gun, even though that's a weapon, that's not really an augment. But I think my favorite part of the game so far are just like when they take you out of Prague and they send you on these, like, you go on the helicopter, you go on the missions, and there's just like a full hour of like nothing but stealth and like trying to creep your way through the levels using your augments, and it's a lot of fun. It's such a good stealth game. I know a lot of people say the combat is like, it's pretty on par for what you'd expect from like a AAA, but it's like what makes it, the stealth is what really makes it though. It's like what really makes it a good game.
Yeah, definitely. Level design of the game just make like stealth like so much better, because you can go about it in any way you want to. Like you like do like a direct confrontation, or you could go in like any direction you want to and just sneak past people.
Yeah, player freedom
which is just like really clever.
Player freedom is
Like,
pretty high.
Yeah, definitely.
Did you guys both play Human Revolution?
Yeah. I played it.
So this game's definitely an improvement over that.
Yeah, I would say it's an improvement.
It's pretty much the same game, just as far as that goes, as far as like gameplay and stuff. But it's much better.
Yeah, sort of like fine-tuned.
Looks much better.
Exactly, it's much better. Gameplay-wise, it's a lot better. Appearance-wise, it looks a lot better. I would say the only thing that's like declined since the last game would be the story, because it's just, I don't think it's not quite as interesting. But you know, obviously gameplay is the most important thing. So as long as that,
I've just been doing every side quest that I've seen. I barely even touched the main story yet.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah. I know Brett is reviewing it, right? I think he said he was enjoying it quite a bit. Thomas, is there anything else you've been up to?
I've been playing. I know I mentioned this on like the last podcast, probably like 2 or 3 weeks ago. I was playing Fire Emblem Fates. Still playing Fire Emblem Fates. It's just been a lot less consistent with it. I've been trying to. I'm on like chapter 22, something like that. I'm really close to beating it.
How many chapters are there?
27, I believe.
Oh, okay.
In Birthright, and so after I'm done with Birthright, I'm gonna go through play Conquest, and then after play Conquest, I'm gonna go through play Revolutions. I'm 35 hours into Birthright already, and I cannot believe there's still 2 more campaigns after that. It's insane.
Yeah, it's like about 100 something hours.
Yeah, it's ridiculous how much time you can put into that. It's fantastic. I've been I think I've really gotten a lot better. I've been enjoying it a lot more ever since it's actually, you can apply this to Deus Ex too. I've been trying to move away from like my completionist mentality, because I really want to I want to explore every option in the game, and obviously in something like Deus Ex you really can't, because you have to choose like one. You generally have to choose one route to complete the level, but I want to like go in every room. I want to find every praxis kit. I want to find every collectible. I want to find all like the different guns, and I'm like, all right, well, this is clearly not the way the game is meant to be played. So I'm just gonna set aside my impulses for a minute and just try not to collect everything. Same with Fire Emblem. I want to get all the in Fire Emblem Fates you can for lack of a better word, breed your characters together to make children, and then you can recruit the children into your army. But I
just breeding soldiers.
I know, exactly. That's basically what it is. And they just kind of gloss over the reason why they're already adults and like the same age as your parents. It's like, oh well, we put them in like a time bubble, and we raise them in there, and time moves different. It was the hyperbolic time chamber logic. And I'm just like, well, I really don't want to get all the kids. I just really want to finish the main story this time. So I'm working on that.
As far as what I've been playing, pretty much the same stuff as last week. No Man's Sky, I'm slowly making my way to the center of the universe. It's gonna take a while. Nothing's really changed, but there's a patch that I'll get into during the news storm. Also, second weekend of the Titanfall 2 tech test. Really enjoying that. It got me way more excited than I was originally.
I was when the original Titanfall came out, I played that a ton, and I played a few matches last weekend on the Titanfall 2 tech test, and it was a little different this time around.
Yeah, it's definitely different. Again, I feel like, so there was one thing that I'll sort of get into later. Like I put it first in the news storm just so it would kind of segue into that. But so I said last time how they how it's not as easy to get in Titan. You can't just like stand around and do nothing and get it. I mean, I still don't think that you can just stand around and get it, but I read some of the patch notes. It said that they added like you do just like your meter does fill up over time. I don't think like you can just like I said, just stand there and get something. Like I don't think it's that fast, but it's definitely a change from what it was the first weekend.
Yeah, in the first weekend I played a couple hardpoint matches, and I didn't even get a Titan at all during those matches, and I was like, well, I mean, because I was bad essentially, but I still wanted to get a Titan at some point, and I just didn't get it at all, and it was kind of disappointing. So I
Yeah.
can understand people's frustration with that.
Yeah, I guess that's why they sort of had to change it. 'Cause, I mean, like, it doesn't really take too much skill. I guess their whole point was to have, like, you know, if you play the objective, you'll get your Titan. But I mean, even if I think they also changed some patch that was for like the second, like part 2 of the tech test, that was like, even if you're just like attempting to take a base from like during hard point or something like that, even if you just attempt to take a base and you die, you'll still get like more like Titan timer filled up.
Yeah, I thought it was. I just thought it was too slow.
Yeah, it definitely does
When I
feel like there's less of an emphasis on sort of the whole parkour element, which is kind of an interesting thing. I just feel like the maps aren't as like obviously set up for you to do like parkour.
Mm-hmm.
It's sort of more on the last map that they added this weekend, which is one thing I like about it. I think I like their map variety. It's pretty big upgrade from what it was last game, which all like they had a different look, but they were all pretty structurally similar. And then last week when I talked about it, I didn't talk about the other, like the Titans, because I only had used one last weekend. But this weekend I jumped in with Scorch. So the first one's Ion, second one's Scorch. Scorch is sort of more like the tank, like Ogre from last game. I don't like it as much just because it's pretty slow and the reload. Like, obviously its weapon does more damage, but it's only one shot and then you have to reload, which kind of annoys me. I'm sure some people like it more because a lot of its other abilities sort of make up for that, just because there's like this fire chain that you can shoot at people, and it's I'm pretty sure your like superpower fills up quicker in that one than the other, just sort of like evening out like abilities and stuff. And then Ion is just sort of your main Titan that's sort of similar to the ones that they had in the last game.
Yeah, in the last game I preferred Ogre over the other two Titans, and
Yeah, I hated Strider. Strider's the one I couldn't stand because it barely lasted any time.
Strider was the
It's like the
light
super.
one.
Yeah, you can like boost 3 times.
Yeah, I preferred Ogre a lot more, and I think I like Scorch a little bit more this time around.
Mhm.
But there's 6 new Titans, correct? So there's
Oh,
still,
is there? I wasn't sure the exact number.
Yeah, I think there's 6 new ones, and they just tossed. They just got rid of the other 3, and so there's I don't know what the other 4 are gonna be yet, but I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and this time I sort of like how there's, it's not as just like, this one's like lightweight but can move fast. This one's sort of in the middle, and then Ogre is like this big tank that takes a lot of hits, but it's not very agile. I like how they're sort of not as, just defined. They're sort of take all characteristics from like each other. Like obviously some are gonna be more like, the ones in the last game than not, but I think they do a better job this time with like making better variety with the Titans.
I think the single player will probably be pretty good too.
Yeah, I think it'll be solid. It's supposed to be more like Halo than like something like Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Just because it's sort of like, more open battlefields with like AI enemies and stuff that you can take down. Well, obviously every campaign has AI enemies, but more like grunt type stuff scattered around, and there are tougher ones.
I loved how fast paced the first one is. It was just like running around on the side of the walls, killing a bunch of pilots, dropping in your Titan and hopping in your Titan, and then getting rodeoed and be like, all right, well I gotta get out, gotta shoot this guy on top of my Titan, and then get back in my Titan, and then just move around some more. It's just like probably one of the more fast paced multiplayer games I've ever played, and
Right.
it was so smooth. Just like everything was, just the way you moved through a level was just so quick and so like well put together. It was like that. I think the level design is what really made it really fun for that game.
Yeah, like I said earlier, it was like the one thing that sort of maybe stepped down is just, like you said, the pace. It's just that the first Titanfall was so like again, like you said, it's very designed for you to move fast and use the parkour. This one feels a lot less like that. There are less like obvious like wall running routes or like other things. And then this one sort of honestly feels like it's pretty close to just having jetpacks. Like obviously there will be some places where you can run on walls, but it's so much less often than it was in the first one, that it's kind of more similar to Black Ops 3. Just basically like a jetpack maneuver.
Yeah. I mean, who knows? Maybe they just chose bad maps to put out during the tech test. There might be
Yeah, that's a good point.
7 other maps that use a lot of wall running.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm sure it'll be a good game.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed the test. Moving on to the news storm. Boom.
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 Each has exploded.
Speaking of Titanfall 2, there are some patch notes that came out for the second, wave, which just sort of explains like how they changed the game just based on people's comments and stuff. Scroll down here in a second. So the first thing that it says here is I'll just go over this first. It says, in terms of mobility, one of the areas that was the source of player complaints, Respawn has increased max wall running speed and like airspeed acceleration when jumping off of walls. I guess to sort of help with the whole flow of the game, even though I still don't think that's really the problem with it. It's just more the design, like we were talking about earlier. Titans also recharge their dashes more quickly, which I think is a good addition because it did take a while for them to recharge. Continuing on, they also added, like I said, you get a small amount of meter every 5 seconds to ensure everyone gets a Titan. Respawn warns that this amount may be undertuned until we can take it past how much meter you earn from playing the objective. And the last major change comes from Bounty Hunt mode. The score limit has been decreased from 6,000 to 5,000, which makes a lot of sense just because we rarely really got. I think I played the first weekend is when I played most Bounty Hunt. You go from, so I think I played about 8 games of Bounty Hunt, and only one of them pretty much got to 6,000. So they just did that to make you actually finish the mode instead of just reaching the time constraint.
Yeah. So Bounty Hunt took me a little bit to really understand what was going on.
Yeah, I had to the only reason I sort of knew what was going on is because I read about it before the beta came out.
Mm-hmm.
So I was pretty interested in it from the start. I think that's a really cool mode though once you understand it.
Yeah. So basically, what I got from these patch notes were everything they're doing is to increase the pacing of the game. They're trying to make it as fast as Titanfall 1 was.
Yeah, I think that is sort of the whole thing. Going over this, going over just the patch notes at the bottom of the page. It's basically you just earn everything faster, which is, like you said, it's important just sort of to regain the pace of the first game, which isn't as fast in this one, but it's still fun to play for sure.
What did you think of do you think the method of taking out the Titan cores is better than what they had before, and just rodeoing the Titan and just being able to essentially one-shot the Titan if you're not taken off as a pilot?
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up. It's interesting. I honestly don't know how I feel about it because it's an interesting mechanic. So I didn't explain this last week, but the first time you jump on a Titan, rodeo a Titan on its back, you rip out its battery, which you can take to a friendly Titan to give it an extra shield. And then if you jump on that Titan that you already took its battery from, then you can throw grenades into it to do damage. When before you just sort of ripped off its hull and then shot it with your gun. I honestly kind of liked it earlier before. It's a cool idea how you rip off, take a battery to help someone else, but I don't know, I feel it kind of slows it down, and it was kind of fun just to have I feel there's less of a need for me to jump out of my Titan when someone jumps on my back and shoot them off, just because someone stealing a battery really isn't that big a deal. Because it doesn't affect you, it only benefits friendlies.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm quite sold on it yet, because I agree that I thought being able to jump on a Titan and just like shoot them down.
Yeah, just shoot its brains out.
Yeah, shoot his brains out and like completely from zero, like a.
That was a lot of
0.
fun too.
It was fun, but I thought it was just a little overpowered sometimes because if you have to like, you basically have to either get the electric smoke, equipment for your Titan to electrocute them off, or you have to either get out of your Titan and manually shoot them off. Otherwise, you can't do anything. This time around, I can understand why they don't want to keep people on the. They don't basically want pilots to one-shot the Titans like they were doing before.
Yeah.
I say one-shot, but they were just like you said. I think blowing its brains out is a perfect description. But yeah, I don't know about the whole battery thing. I don't know if that's gonna work out as well as they think it will, because taking like, in what situation are you gonna run up to a Titan, steal its battery, and then run to another Titan and put the battery in your friendly Titan?
Yeah, like that's sort of the whole reason. Like the reason I jump on a Titan is because I want to kill it, not because I want to take its battery and come help someone else. Which is a good point. So, if anyone doesn't have anything else to say on that, we shall move along to No Man's Sky. It's getting another new patch, which is supposed to fix 90% of crash problems, which is a big deal because I know I talked about this when it came out. A lot of people at the Game Bolt were having big issues with like it crashing all the time. Like sometimes there were like galaxies that once you would enter them, it just crashes the minute you get into it and you can't even explore there. But yeah, that's what the patch will do this time, this week. Also, further patches will be coming as part of Hello Games' effort to fix all crash scenarios on PS4. Quote, "We obviously won't stop until these issues are 100% resolved. Also, these patches contain other fixes and improvements too." That's all, said Hello Games. So yeah, I guess there's not really too much to say on that. I mean, it's nice that they're fixing like crashes and stuff for everyone. I honestly didn't have many crash problems. I feel like I was kind of lucky just because I think my game has crashed only twice since I've had it, which was like a day or two after it came out.
Yeah. Well, I haven't played it yet, so I wouldn't be able to really chime in much on it. But it seems like the even bigger story with No Man's Sky is the fact that Steam is now offering refunds for people who've played more than 2 hours because of, I believe they're claiming false advertising. They're saying that No Man's Sky had they advertised features that ultimately didn't show up in the game.
Yeah. I mean, like some of those features and stuff are going to be patched in eventually, but I kind of understand why people would get upset. Like, obviously the game isn't as, like, I don't know, it's not as, like, I'm trying to say expansive, but that's not true at all because it's a massive game. But I'm just saying that it's kind of marketed as you have so much stuff to do and you really don't. It's sort of just the same thing over and over again, which I am enjoying, at least enough to keep playing. But I can understand why some people would be upset with that.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of an overreaction from the community because it's like,
I mean, like, you can't just have your expectations and then be like, oh, this game is worse than I thought, and then just give it back.
Yeah, you can. It's not the way games work. You can't just refund it because you didn't like it. Then I don't know. It just feels like unfair to Hello Games. I understand that a lot of people are upset with the final product of No Man's Sky, and I can see where their resentment comes from, because ultimately it didn't live up to the hype, which I think is a fair statement. But come on, if you're playing the game for over 2 hours already, you don't whine to Steam that you want a refund. Like, I feel like it's just right. I feel like it's a little bit of a unfair.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. Like, you can't just, even if a game didn't live up to your expectations, you can't just get your money back. Kyle, do you have any thoughts on this?
Not quite.
All right, moving on. You should have thoughts on this. The PS4 Slim is reportedly including a updated DualShock 4 which will be like a different design and stuff. Load article. Recently, image, videos, and information have been leaked about a slimmer version of the PS4. In addition to the redesign, though, the Slim PS4 includes an updated controller. According to the leaks, the new gamepad features several tweaks and changes to the base design, such as a new light bar. At least one person actually managed to get a hold of one of these new consoles, and they've been showing it off on social media. It also revealed details on the new controller because they posted an image of it. The gamepad's biggest change is it now has a light bar on the front of the controller, right above the touchpad. The light bar will be the same color as the light on the back of the controller, which presumably means you'll be able to see light notifications more easily. The new controller uses the same battery as the old controller. However, the user also stated that it seems to last a bit longer than the older gamepad, although currently this is just anecdotal. Finally, the user revealed that if the controller is plugged into the PS4, you can force it to communicate only over the wired connection. I don't know why that makes sense, but okay. I kind of understand why they would do this, because I know, like, the light bar really isn't used in sort of a really effective way. I think the most effective use of it was Transistor. I don't know if you I think, Kyle, you definitely played it. Thomas, have you?
I played Transistor.
Yeah, but I think that's sort of the coolest use of the light bar that they've come out with so far, at least that I've played, is that, you know, like, whenever your sword talks to you, then it'll, like, flash with the syllables, and sort of, like, I don't know, just sort of actually like you have a sword there, like, it's talking out of the controller, like, the voice comes out of the speaker and stuff. But yeah, I think it's interesting.
Yeah, I never really understood the purpose of the light bar too much. I mean, if it disappeared the next day, I wouldn't really notice it.
Yeah, but I guess that's sort of another reason why they put it on the front. Like, I forget it's there. It's really...
Yeah, I mean, it's cool, but, like, it really doesn't serve a purpose at all. I mean, I can understand the speaker in the controller. That at least serves somewhat of a purpose.
Yeah.
Light bar I never really got, but honestly, the PS4 controller design to me is just so much better than the DualShock 3.
Oh my god, yeah.
Overall design, I wouldn't change anything. Only thing I can complain about with the current controller is the rubber on the analog sticks.
It tears off.
Oh, yep, it tears off.
I feel like, when did you buy your controller?
I bought my controller the same time I bought my PS4, which is over 2 years ago now. So yeah, the rubber on my controller is almost completely torn off at this point.
Yeah, so the two controllers I have, I bought one before I got my PS4, which was like December. It was like the month after it launched. And then I also have the one that came with the PS4 when I got it. Man, I heard that they sort of fixed the rubber on it since, but the ones I have right now, like the thumbsticks, they're just completely torn up.
Yeah.
And like, it's not even that, I'm not like throwing it across the room or anything.
Yeah,
it's
I know,
just
I'm
like
playing games.
Yeah, just daily use. It just sort of wears down.
Yeah, my first controller actually died. Like, the battery
died.
in it died, and it couldn't be charged. The controller just was dead, and I had to get a new controller. Just like, why?
Yeah, I have sorry, go ahead and finish your sentence.
It was during the summer, and I was playing Metal Gear Solid 5, and it was just like, I was like right in the middle of playing a game, and just it died, and it wouldn't charge. It was just like, okay then, I guess I'm done playing this game.
Yeah, I have
Then I had to get a new controller.
I have two controllers too, and the second one, the left analog stick, doesn't really work very well. So it just like it doesn't read inputs correctly sometimes. So I have to use my other controller most of the time.
Yeah, one of mine has squeaky triggers. It's all falling apart.
Yeah, and about the light bar being changed positions, that sort of doesn't have anything to do, like, for me, because with how I hold the controller, my hand covers the light bar anyway.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It's just in the way, so it's just like the touchpad and the light bar are like completely pointless to me and how I use the controller. that's just me. I'm a very particular case in that. But
Right.
yeah, it's definitely. I can see how making it smaller and moving it to the touch bar would help battery life, because of course the LED right would like drain the battery.
Yeah, I turned mine
more
down
so
to
than
dim.
Touchpad and stuff would. So it would definitely help with battery life, even if the battery isn't like changed at all in capacity.
Yeah. I feel like if they could go back and take the touchpad off, then they definitely would. Like,
Yeah.
just because, like, when it launched, I thought it was so cool, just because the first game I played was Killzone Shadowfall. And the way they use it in that was super smart. Like, you just use it, like, swipe up, down, left, right to sort of set the mode of your drone that you have, which was really, I think, a really good use of it. Just because before you'd have to, like, hold, like, a modifier, like, hold L1 and use the D-pad. But with the touchpad, it didn't allow you, like, it just allowed you just to, swipe up easily, and it looked pretty cool. It worked well. Just ever since then, there hasn't really been any use.
Yeah, it pretty much just serves as select and start.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just an extra button at this point.
Yeah, pretty much. I think what was
And
the
a
last
map
game?
toggle. That's,
Yeah,
that's
it brings up it. People really like to use it for mini maps.
Yeah. What was the last game that used it? I'm trying to think. Infamous Second Son used it. You just place your thumb on it and it'll like drain elements and stuff.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it also. Oh yeah, Infamous also used it to like open doors. You have to like swipe it to open doors. But yeah, that's the last game I can remember that used it. I don't know. It's an interesting thing, but no games use it, so it's really just kind of pointless.
Which makes me thankful. Because if games used it, I'd be screwed.
You'd be
'cause
struggling.
My hand be constantly on the touchpad, just be like toggling everything, making me screw up. Because it made me screw up in GTA 5 a lot on the PS4.
And there's no way you could play Killzone, and then like the HUD would just constantly be up with you like switching
yeah,
your.
it's just like, I can't do this.
Moving on. Quantum Break has sold, quote, really well and beat Microsoft's expectations. Alan Wake developer Remedy Entertainment, time-bending action game Quantum Break sold really well according to Xbox marketing boss Aaron Greenberg. In fact, sales were so good that they exceeded Microsoft's own expectations for the game. Quote, Quantum Break sold really well. It exceeded what we expected it to. We were really pleased with how it did, but just like every movie, not every game needs a sequel. Sometimes it's okay. Greenberg didn't quantify Quantum Break's success with a specific figure, either for sales or expectations. I sort of brought this up because Remedy also said that, it's obvious, it's not really too much news, but they said that they are working on, a new game after Quantum Break. Quote, the team is working on something that's pretty far off. It's in the early days, and there's already a prototype, and Remedy is shopping it to publishers, though none were named in the report. Yeah, they also wouldn't, comment on how it could be in Quantum Break or Alan Wake sequel.
I imagine it, unless it's a new IP, probably Alan Wake.
Oh,
Yeah.
please give me a new Alan Wake. I really liked the first Alan Wake. And then the arcade game was weird, but it was okay too. But I really want a sequel to Alan Wake. That game was so unique. It was like the whole flashlight and then shooting the zombies, if you want to call them that mechanic. I thought it was, and it was like had a really interesting story too. Yeah, just give me a sequel.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'd love for Remedy to return to Max Payne, but I could never see Take-Two allowing that to happen.
Mm.
Especially with Remedy being under Microsoft now.
I mean, Remedy makes good games, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
As far as Quantum Break, I love that game. It's probably top 3 games of the year for me. Just, sort of the whole story. It had time travel that made sense. So, like a lot of times, like it sort of gets, like, like these things contradict. Like, how does this happen when this can't happen? But I thought Quantum Break's story really made sense. And the gameplay superpowers were super fun. I think one of the reasons I enjoyed it so much is just because that was the first linear game I had played in such a long time that, it was just really refreshing to play. But I also think the gameplay is really solid and the story is pretty good. Kyle, did you play Quantum Break?
I haven't yet. I still want to get to it,
Oh,
but
okay.
I just haven't gotten around to it yet. I haven't really played that much on my Xbox One.
I haven't used my Xbox One since here, man. But yeah. Next up, Crystal Dynamics has hired the Dead Space dev to direct their new project. Tomb Raider developer Crystal Dynamics announced today that it's hired Ian Milham to become the game director for the Tomb Raider franchise. This basically confirms more Tomb Raider games are coming, though that is of
definitely.
Yeah,
I mean,
of no surprise.
Tomb Raider, Rise of the Tomb Raider definitely. The post-credits scene definitely foreshadowed a sequel. So
Oh yeah.
I definitely want to see there not being a Tomb Raider free. At this point.
I haven't finished Rise of the Tomb Raider yet, but the first Tomb Raider was I thought it was super fun, and like
So did I.
I really like the reboot.
Yeah, the new one is actually really good too. I've been meaning to go back to it for a while, but I can't. So if like we're getting more Tomb Raiders, bring them on.
Yeah, I'll play them, man.
Yeah.
I know Brett didn't like it.
Man,
Rise of the Tomb Raider.
I don't understand.
He didn't care for it.
No, he didn't. What did he say he didn't like about it? I remember there was one specific
He
thing.
didn't like the controller input lag.
What? Really? Oh
I mean,
yeah,
I
that's
just
right. He said that he
boosted
was like getting annoyed that like he would press something and then he would like fall down places. I don't know. But
Yeah,
I
just boosted the aim sensitivity. It was fine for me.
Yeah, the reboot I thought was super fun. I played it. I didn't play it on PS3, Xbox 360. I bought the definitive edition, played it on PS4. I thought it was I thought it was really good. The only thing that wasn't good was sort of the like every other character besides Laura. And then in Rise, they pretty much just improved on everything from, I think, at least. It just improved everything from the first game and made it an even better experience. So
The only thing that I didn't like about Rise of the Tomb Raider was that the story was complete rehash of the first game.
yeah, that's sort of the
Completely.
it's classic explorer adventure. Like it's pretty predictable too. But yeah, enjoyable games for sure.
Yeah, I've always liked Tomb Raider, so.
Yeah,
But I really like
you are a
Uncharted
big Tomb Raider
too,
fan.
so.
Uncharted 4.
I've never played a Tomb Raider before the reboot because
Yeah, me neither.
Oh man, that's sad.
yeah.
Is it though?
I mean, original Tomb Raider games, they were great.
I mean, I grew up. I don't think my parents would let me play that. I grew up with original PlayStation 1, and I knew like the original Tomb Raiders were on that, but I wasn't allowed to play like T-rated games until I was like probably 10 or 11 years old, and even then it was still. I had to show the game to my parents, and it was like anything with Lara Croft on it, no way would have gotten through them.
When I was 10, I was about to play rated M games.
Yeah. First rated M game I ever played was Halo 3.
Let's move on. Lastly, part of the news storm, Destiny devs are still contemplating matchmaking for raids. It still currently lacks the support, but it may not be that way forever. World design lead Steve Cotton told Metro developer Bungie has been thinking about that a lot, though it apparently has yet to decide if the feature will actually go into the game. Bungie has heard the calls for raid matchmaking support for years now. In 2014, lead designer Luke Smith said a looking for a group mechanic is something Bungie absolutely wants to do.
Yeah, I have no idea why it's not in the game. Like,
Yeah,
put
it
it
doesn't
in
make
the
sense.
game. Jeez,
I haven't played it, and then hearing about it is just like, that's not in the game?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like before I joined the Game Bolt, because I know a lot of people at Game Bolt play Destiny, and they're gonna.
Or they used to play Destiny.
Yes, they used to play Destiny. I'm sure a lot of them are gonna play.
Yeah, just before you
After-
joined, like when what was it? Taken King came out, we were all playing it, and then November came and dead.
Yeah, but I'm sure that's gonna like change once Rise of Iron comes out. Everyone's
Yeah,
gonna play it
probably.
again. So like I'm excited to maybe possibly have a raid group going that we can all start for the new raid, whatever.
Raids are super fun.
Oh yeah, they're great in Destiny. They're like one of the best parts of the game, and
they are the best part of the game.
And it astounds me that they don't have a matchmaking feature for it. Like before I joined the Game Boat and I played Destiny, none of my friends had a PS4, so I was the only one playing this game, and I couldn't. I had to go on. I had to go on like some raid matchmaking service online and find people to play with, and I was like, I don't want to talk. I don't want to. Like, yeah, I don't want to. This is like so much pointless extra work to find people to play with. I don't understand why it's not in the game. Like I believe they said, well, we want people to cooperate and work together to like be able to complete these raids, and we don't think that's going to happen with a matchmaking. Like, what do you mean you don't think that's going to happen with matchmaking?
That's the only way to do a raid.
It's like, of course people are going to still like communicate and try to beat these things together. Like, you think people don't use mics if they use matchmaking? You think people just, like, I don't know. I don't understand.
Yeah, that was the thing. I was like, the only reason that they could possibly have for why people don't why they don't have matchmaking is because it's like, oh well, I mean, not everyone's gonna have a mic, and if you don't have a mic, then you can't communicate, and you're not gonna do well. Like, if you're doing a raid, you have to get a mic, or else you're gonna lose. So I mean, there's no point in doing it.
It astounds me that they don't have this in yet. Like, come on, we need give us something, please. I love Destiny. I don't love it right now because I played it to death after Taken King came out, and there's no new content. But I can guarantee you, when Rise of Iron comes out in a month, I'm gonna go back into that game and I'm gonna play very solidly for the next couple of months. And I might have people to play with now, but
probably.
What about all those people who don't have? I'm about to say who don't have friends, but who don't have friends with PlayStations and want to do the raid. Yeah,
I know it was funny when Taken King came out. I was so against buying Taken King when it came out last year. I could not stand Destiny like the original game. It was fun for a while, and then after a month or two, I'm like, man, this game is not. It's not very good. It just sort of puts you in this endless loop.
After a week.
Yeah, I'm like, it puts you sort of in this endless loop for really no gain, and you just the story isn't good. The gameplay is fantastic. That's pretty much
Oh yeah, the shooting mechanics going for it.
Yeah, shooting is great.
That's the only redeeming quality I found about Destiny.
Yeah, and I sort of
its gameplay was great.
Yeah, and on this podcast, I sort of gained a reputation for just trashing Destiny. And then Taken King came out. I'm like, there's no way I'm buying this. And then everyone else had it, and they're like, come on, Grant, get it. And then I was like, all right, and I got it, and it was a lot of fun. The raid for that one is really fun. Getting a ton of people. We would do it every week, just like on Monday or Tuesday night. We would just get a group together and go tackle the raid, get some loot. So yeah, it's a fun game. Like the Taken King definitely improved a lot of stuff. They also the whole story.
Everything.
Yeah, especially the whole, even the loot, it improved. The story, they gave those soulless characters on the tower some emotion. They I don't know. They fixed everything, but they didn't fix everything, but they made a lot of improvements. Yeah.
It was for the first couple of months that I played Destiny, I was like, meh, it's okay. But then, I was also part of that Taken King boat. I didn't want any. I was like, do I really want this game? After what was the last two? The Dark Below and was there one after that?
House of Wolves.
House of Wolves. Yeah, I was like,
I didn't get any of those. I never even played that content just because I'm like, there's no point.
Yeah, the House of Wolves didn't even have a raid. The Crota raid from Dark Below was pretty fun. But yeah, after I was like, do I really want to buy this? Am I really going to invest the time in this game? And it was totally worth it. And then everyone who plays Destiny will always tell you that Taken King just made it so much better. So I'm totally looking forward to how they're gonna draw back some of this player base with Rise of Iron, and I totally think people are going to come flooding back to it once this new DLC comes out. And I can tell you, I'm definitely going back to it after the DLC comes out.
Yeah, I feel like this is kind of like last time for me. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm probably not going to get it, and then everyone's going to play it, and then I'll be like, all right.
It's only a month away.
Yeah, it is. That's crazy. If no one else has anything to say on that, we will jump into the last minute. I forgot what Jason made a sound effect for this, but I don't remember what it is. Anyways, so I came up with a question. So if you could pick any one announced game that you could have a copy of right now and play, what would it be?
Persona 5.
Persona 5. So I sort of had this dilemma when I was thinking about this. I was like, do I pick a game that comes out, in November that I'm really excited for, or do I pick one that comes out like way later, like 2017, that I could just because I have to wait longer for that, which means if I could have it now, it would be better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would totally pick. I want to say Persona 5 as well, or like Kingdom Hearts 3, because but the thing is, I know I'm going. I know I'm gonna.
I think I might have changed my mind.
What?
Like, I know I'm gonna love these games. Like, so I'm gonna actually pick something like I don't know if I'm gonna like, and I'm gonna go with For Honor, because I think that game.
That's an interesting choice.
I am really excited for that game, but I don't know if I'm gonna like it because I've never played a decent multiplayer third-person multiplayer sword fighting game like that, and I totally think what they're doing with the sword fighting in that game is totally unique, and I really want to try it out and see if I like it. So I'm gonna go with that one.
I've heard from anyone that plays that's a lot of fun. Like, at least the multiplayer part of it. Like, the single player, just from what I've read, it isn't that great. But its focus is on multiplayer. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I'm definitely interested to see how that game turns out. Just because, like you said, there's not really anything like that that's, sort of a big AAA thing. Mm-hmm. John will definitely play it with you. He's, so excited for that game.
Oh, yeah. I signed up for the beta a long time ago. I never heard anything back, though. But I'm definitely playing as Samurai for that game.
Mm-hmm. Kyle, did you want to elaborate on your choice of Persona 5, or did you want to change it to Kingdom Hearts 3?
Oh man. I mean, I know Persona 5 is going to be amazing, but at the same time, it's just I'm a massive Kingdom Hearts fan. So
yeah,
it's just but at the same time, we haven't seen anything about Kingdom Hearts 3, really. So it's just will it be everything I want from it, or won't it be? Because I know Persona 5 is going to be great. So maybe I should just go with Persona 5?
I think Kingdom Hearts 3 is it's gonna be what we want. I think I'm gonna like it a lot.
I mean, Final Fantasy 15 is basically going to be our Kingdom Hearts fix until Kingdom Hearts 3 eventually comes out.
Yeah,
more or less.
It's very similar gameplay style.
I'm still holding out hope for Final Fantasy 15 because honestly, it looks like it could go either way at this point, and I'm really scared. I want that game to be really good.
Yeah, I want it to be really good. I mean, it's been in development for 10 years. And it looks so promising, but it's just we won't really know until it comes out.
Yeah, it looks beautiful, but I just don't everyone was talking about how, the Titan, I think it was Titan boss battle that they showed during E3, and everyone's like, well, that didn't really look that great. And
yeah.
I
heard it was pretty clunky.
Yeah, I agree with them. It just wasn't that great. And
I mean, the demo was just really cringy at E3.
I don't know if I'd go so far as to call it cringy. It definitely wasn't. It definitely wasn't on par for what a Final Fantasy game should be, though. And I think
the boss fight was just really I don't know. It was just too swell.
Yeah.
And it was the person who was trying to play the game and fight the boss was just trying to get on the boss's arm to attack him. He couldn't do it, so he bailed on the boss fight.
Yeah.
It's kind of hilarious.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like I saw an image of how big the map is, comparing it to GTA 5's Los Santos, and it was pretty. It's pretty big, but but even if it's really huge, there also begs the question of how dense is it? How much stuff is in there, like that we can do and have fun with, and I don't know. I think
apparently that's really the only first half of the game.
Yeah,
the second half of the game is supposed to be like extremely linear.
Yeah,
whatever that's supposed to mean.
Yeah, you posted that in chat earlier today. I'm not earlier today, a couple days ago, and I was like, well, hopefully, if you want to take a linear approach to this game, I'm very skeptical about that, because a linear approach did not work well for Final Fantasy 13, and that was literally everyone's biggest criticism of Final Fantasy 13. So if you're gonna take a linear approach, tread lightly.
Yeah, I think they might just by linear, because I know there's that big whole like open like field type style, like what they've been showing in demos and stuff in episode Duske. So what I think by what they mean by linear in the second half of the game, by story wise, is that it's just going to be confined to a smaller space, but it's not necessarily like hallways after hallways. Not that
I hope
type
so.
of like linear.
Yeah, I hope so, because
that's what I imagine anyway. But
there's
I don't know.
there's just no way they would ever go back to a formula like 13. Everyone and their mother just drove that point home so hard. We don't want linear gameplay in a Final Fantasy 15 in a Final Fantasy game. And that was everyone's biggest criticism. So like if they do something like that for 15, like that just goes to show how out of touch Square must be that they chose to do something like that.
Yeah, I mean, if it like turns into something like Final Fantasy like 10 or 7 or 8 or 9, whatever, then yeah, I'm okay with that. But if it's just like hallway after hallway like Final Fantasy 13, then yeah, that would be pretty crap.
Yeah. You also have to consider, like, a while back, I read something online that was something along the lines of, no one who worked on Final Fantasy 1 or even like Final Fantasy 3 or 5 is working on Final Fantasy 15. So this is like something completely different. I can understand wanting to, remain true to the Final Fantasy series as much as possible and, keeping the core of what fans like about it alive. But you also have to understand that these are completely different people. So they're going to go in a different direction in what you would normally expect out of like something like Final Fantasy 5 or 6. So, don't hold them to the same what's a good word for it? Don't hold them to the same confines that you would, people who developed Final Fantasy 6. It's different people. They're going to approach it a different way.
Yeah, or maybe I'm thinking maybe it'll be like Kingdom Hearts, where there's like these areas that you go into, and it's sort of like a big old room that you do stuff in, and basically just sort of like that kind of like confined. But who knows?
That would be fine. That would be fine.
Yeah, I'd like that. I mean, from what I'm thinking, the last half of the game is probably going to be like a city.
Yeah, that would be okay with me, as long as the city's as long as there's a lot of stuff to do, and there's like things that I can make my own choices about where I want to go and what I want to do and how I want to do it.
Yeah.
As far as my choice.
Oh wow! Yeah, sorry, we went off a long tangent there.
No, it's okay. This is the Final Fantasy podcast, the official podcast of thegamebook.com. But no, this is so. I think it would, for me. So the obvious choice here is Horizon Zero Dawn. But if I weren't to go with the obvious choice, I might honestly choose Walking Dead Season 3. Just because, like, every time I have to wait for every episode to come out. If I could play the entire game right now, that would be pretty great.
Yeah.
Because
that
I
would be
love
s-
Walking
would.
Dead.
Yeah.
I need more Clementine.
Yeah, I definitely
I'm a little bit behind on my Telltale games at the moment. I played all of season 1 of Walking Dead, and I've played
Incredible.
some of the Game of Thrones one, but that's about it. And
Mm-hmm.
I've been meaning to go back. Tales of the Borderlands is on my wish list. I want to go back and I want to play some of that. But yeah, I totally agree. I totally can see why you'd want that. Episode 1, I think it was episode 1 for Walking Dead was fantastic. Like that ending had me in tears, and I was just like.
Walking Dead
sullen.
season 1 is probably the most like emotional gaming experience I've ever had.
Oh yeah, it's great. It's like I was so sullen and depressed for like the day after I finished that game. That was so good. It was so good. It's like anyone who says storytelling doesn't belong in video games, just point them at that and
Yeah.
say that it doesn't belong in video games. It's fantastic.
Mhm.
So far, Life is Strange is the only game that has succeeded in making me cry.
I've also played Life is Strange, but also not a Telltale game. Even though it's very similar.
Better.
I don't know about better. It was really good though.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I need more Walking Dead. I need that universe.
Yeah, I need Walking Dead season 3. I really, because I like season 2
Yeah.
a lot better than season 1, but
No! What?
I'm in the
You-
extreme minority.
No, it's
with that
you and
one.
Brett. You guys always come on here. You're like, Walking Dead season 2 is better than season 1. No, you're wrong. You're wrong.
I don't know. I think
You cannot have an
Clementine
opinion,
is the
Kyle.
protagonist.
You're wrong.
I felt like her choices were more dramatic and made more sense than Flea's.
Well, man, I don't know. There's one big gripe that I've told almost everyone who's played The Walking Dead, but I'm not going to spoil it for Thomas. But yeah, season 3, I would love to play that right now. Another honorable, or just 2 more honorable mentions. I was just looking through some stuff. I won't really go into depth with these, but God of War and
Yeah.
and Days Gone, just because I'm really interested to see what that game actually will be. Like
Days Gone.
that like whole zombie game that like
Oh,
looked like Last
yeah.
of Us, but then it wasn't.
I think in the 3 that you mentioned, I would say Horizon Zero Dawn. Probably.
Oh
be
yeah,
my most-
yeah. I'm saying that's the obvious choice here.
Yeah, that one looks fantastic. Days Gone
Detroit might be pretty cool.
oh yeah, that one is that one's the David Cage one, and I loved Heavy Rain, so I'm so looking forward to that. Beyond Two Souls was meh, but anyway, yeah, I think Horizon would probably be up on that list there too.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. That game looks pretty awesome.
Yeah, I'm sort of just saying Walking Dead on the podcast, but if someone was like, it walked up to me with a copy of Walking Dead and a copy of Horizon, I'd take Horizon probably for sure. I think that about wraps up episode 77 of the Game World Podcast, the official podcast of thegameworld.com. Thank you for joining us this week. If you have any topics you'd like us to discuss, we didn't stream the episode this week because of sort of schedule conflicts, but we will get back on that probably next week. Post to iTunes every Tuesday, YouTube every Wednesday. Recent stuff that we have put up on the website includes, let me scroll down. Let's see here. An interview with Guildhall Savannah Jordan. What is this? I don't even. It's an interview.
It's a gaming themed restaurant.
A gaming themed restaurant.
I haven't read the interview yet.
If you want to read about a gaming themed restaurant, go read Jordan's article. I'm sure it's really interesting. He did some work. Pokemon on NX by Tony. Right, Toby. Tony. And
Toby.
Super Mario NX Bros by Toby as well. Hitting those Nintendo ideas. That's all that I think we got for this week. Thomas, can we find you on Twitter?
Yes, you can. I'm at Tom Blaster, and come raid with me. I need more friends.
Oh, that's what it says. Because when you gave me your Skype name, I was like Tomb Blaster.
God, everyone
I'm like
confuses
Tomb
it.
Raider.
It's like everyone confuses it. It's Tom Blaster. Seriously, come raid with me in a month. I need friends.
Sorry. Kyle, where can we find you on Twitter?
You can find me at ClockdownRME.
And you can find me at GrantRam3. You can follow the site at @the_GameBolt. That's all we got for you this week. Thank you for joining us, and we will catch you on the next episode. Later, guys.
Later.
See ya, and have a rest of your peachy day.